We thought there might be a new MacBook Pro by the end of the year. After all, Apple has a new Mac Pro, that's that big crazy cheese grater, that's coming out in December. There is indeed a new MacBook Pro, and I've got it right here, and I've just started looking at it. It's a 16-inch MacBook Pro that's got upgraded processing, a 16-inch display, better graphics, better audio, better microphones, better battery. But the number one thing you're going to be most curious about is it's got a new keyboard. And I've just started playing with it. I haven't even been using the MacBook Pro 16-inch for a full day. These are my very early impressions using it so far, typing on it, and just getting a feel for it. And FYI, the specs on the model I got from Apple, it's a 2.4 gigahertz, 8-core Intel Core i9, 9th gen, 32 gigabytes of RAM, an AMD Radeon Pro 5500M graphics, and let's check a look, 2 terabytes of SSD, which can be expanded up to 8 terabytes now, and the RAM can be expanded up to 64 gigs. We'll find out what those configurations turn out to price-wise, but it starts at $23.99. Let's talk about Apple keyboards. They were great, and they didn't used to be a problem. I remember owning a ton of MacBooks and loving the experience typing on them. I have a 2012 MacBook at home that the keys have really nice travel, and that's what I was used to. Then things changed. Apple introduced this butterfly keyboard with the 12-inch MacBook and created this flatter typing experience that turned a lot of people off, and it also started having a whole bunch of problems. A lot of people had issues with keys that would break or jam. If stuff got under them, they'd be very hard to replace. Apple extended its repair program, and it was a big issue. Now, Apple has decided to change the keyboard again. Not on the other MacBooks that are out there, but on the new MacBook Pro. And the keyboard that it put in is kind of like a retrofit to one that already exists. The iMac and iMac Pro Magic Keyboard, and this is called a Magic Keyboard. What this means when you type on them is not really anything exciting. It's what you expect a keyboard to be. The keys click in more, they have more travel. This has a millimeter of key travel. That's less than what the older MacBook Pros and MacBooks used to have, like I have in my 2012 model, but it's a lot better than the butterfly keyboards that feel flat and almost not like keys at all. This is my favorite in-between feel. It's also backlit, and they use a mechanism that also has a little rubber dome underneath apparently. That means that the keys can be removable, so I think it should be easier to repair. We don't know that much more about it, but it sounds promising. And typing with it for just a little bit of time, it's a great keyboard. I can definitely feel there's more travel here. It still feels clicky though, but I feel like the keys are actually moving. It's the keyboard that I wanted on the other MacBooks. Now, to be clear, I've used a MacBook Air from 2018 as my work computer, and I think those keyboards are fine when they're not breaking. So I am used to typing on screens. I have a lot of forgiveness for weird typing mechanisms, so those keyboards are okay. I think this keyboard's a lot better, and it sounds like it's gonna be a lot more durable, so that's good news. Did we have to come up with a whole new MacBook to introduce a whole new keyboard? No, and this is the other question, is when will they introduce this keyboard into other MacBooks? That's totally unclear. The MacBook Pro 16-inch starts at $23.99, so it's not a MacBook for everyone, or even for me, but it's out there, and maybe Apple will adapt this keyboard into its other MacBooks, but they haven't announced that yet, and they haven't made it clear when that would happen. FYI, also Apple made a big deal out of the Escape key, which used to be part of the Touch Bar and was not a real key at all. I've never really used the Touch Bar, and I'm not really wild about it, but it's here on the 16-inch, and you can't opt out of it. It's smaller this time. It doesn't have any vibrating tactile response. It's still basically a touch screen, but Touch ID is now broken out a little bit, like on the MacBook Air, so at least you can feel for it if you're not looking at the screen. And there's an actual Escape key, which Apple says is a big deal for programmers, or maybe just for anyone, but why not make the rest of those real keys too? I would not mind that option. Let me just pick this thing up and show it to you. So the 16-inch MacBook Pro has thin bezels. It feels like the thinnest bezel MacBook that I've seen in a while. And the chassis is meant to feel a lot like the 15-inch MacBook Pro, which, by the way, is no longer being sold by Apple. The 16-inch Pro is the replacement for that, and it starts at the same price that the 15-inch used to be at. Now, that being said, you could probably get that 15-inch MacBook Pro on sale from a lot of other places, but this on paper sounds like a much better laptop because of its processor bumps, its display, its keyboard. The battery in here is a 100 watt hour, which Apple says will last about an hour more in daily use, so 11 hours versus the last claim of 10 hours, but it's a much bigger battery, so we'll have to see how that works as far as performance for games, for graphics. Stay tuned for that. And the weight of it, I mean, it's not a light laptop. This is 4.3 pounds. It's not bad though. I feel like you're buying a laptop like this because you want a performance powerhouse. You're not looking for the lightest thing. So it still feels fine to hold like this. I wouldn't want to hold it like that for long, but it's compact, it feels good. It's just, you know, you're dealing with a slightly larger bodied laptop than before, a bit bigger footprint, and a tiny, tiny bit thicker. The trackpad on these MacBooks, by the way, are tremendous. This one doesn't seem like it's any bigger, but I always love the fact that I can like put my whole hand on it. I don't know if I need that, but it's a lot of space. You'll notice that there's a lot of space here though, on either side of the keyboard. Part of that is to accommodate a 6-speaker array that is in this, including subwoofers that are meant to cancel themselves out for reverberation and provide this booming sound, which does sound really great. Do you need really great speakers in your MacBook Pro? Maybe if you're producing, you know, professional films and you need to play them back. The microphones on here are also meant to be, according to Apple, podcast worthy, so you could record something that you could use in a studio setting, like triple array of mics. But again, if you're a pro user, you probably have something else that you're plugging in, but FYI, that's in there too. As far as the ports go, there are still just 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, or hey, there are 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, depending on which way you think about it. There are no extra ports, which could be really frustrating for you, but you could use any of them to charge your MacBook Pro, which by the way comes with a slightly higher wattage charger, 96 watts this time, but again, like a big white brick. Who is this for? Well, definitely not for me because I'm not the super pro user, but we're gonna be giving a lot of pro thoughts about the MacBook Pro and its performance. You can get a lot of other laptops for less, including MacBooks that perform just fine that aren't this expensive. But it's cool that Apple's releasing something that's overdue as far as a big performance boost, especially with the Mac Pro coming out, which is making a big leap for video and graphics in 8K. There are a lot more questions you're gonna have about this laptop. Pro users wanna know all about the performance. But in the few hours I've had with this laptop, I haven't been able to answer those yet, and I'm not going to. I was really curious about the keyboard. I've been looking forward to a new keyboard on a MacBook for a long time, and it's great. This is my favorite typing experience. I'm not wild about the touch bar though. I wish that were changed. Maybe have tactile feedback or go with physical buttons. For more on the MacBook Pro 16-inch, including benchmarks, graphics, performance, and a lot more, stay tuned on CNET.